We are one day away from the start of Dokkan's 8th anniversary, but should you summon on the banners? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are answering that age-old question: should you summon on the upcoming 8th anniversary LR banners? These are some of the greatest banners we've had to date this year, probably seconded only to whatever's coming in a few months during the worldwide celebration, maybe even close to the New Year's. I feel like the New Year's banners were pretty good as well. So we're gonna take a look at these banners and answer the question based on 3 scenarios that we usually use, right? We're going to take a look at the units themselves. Are they worth Are they worth the summon? Do the units justify your summon? Then take a look at the banner. Is the banner good enough to justify your summon? And then finally, we'll look at what lies ahead, as that may impact your decision on whether or not to summon on these 8th anniversary banners. I know the answer seems like it should be an obvious yes, but there are some considerations that I think are worthy of note. So let's go ahead, let's dive on in. Let's start by talking about the 2 units. We're just going to briefly go over what they do. Remember that the LR Bomb Duo is a Power of Wishes Final Trap card, category key 3 HP attack defense 170%, and an additional HP attack defense 30% for characters who also belong on Connected Hope and Majin Buu Saga. They are an infinite defense stacker on both their 12 and 18 key, where their 18 key is greatly raising. That is a double defense stack every turn that they get their 18 key. Now, on their passive, they get attack defense 200% and an additional attack and defense 50% when HP is 50% or more. They also have an additional key 1 per key's fear obtained, and an additional 100% as the first attacker in the turn. They also get an additional key 2 per key's fear obtained, and an additional attack 100% as the second or third attacker in the turn. They launch an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack when key is 18 or more, and launches an additional super attack when key is 24. They have a key 1 and a high chance of performing a critical hit with each super attack performed. So, I mean, these guys are insane. They're a little scary on turn 1, but post turn 1, having gotten the build up that they need, they are an excellent unit. They are powerful, they're hitting hard, and they are launching multiple supers, right? After the first couple supers or 2, they've got enough key to consistently get their 18, and more so to consistently get their 24, especially if you're keeping them in slot 2, right? They very easily can get the to get their 24 in slot 2. Now, once you've built up enough defense for a couple of turns, you can activate their standby skill. Their standby skill basically charges the Super Spirit Bomb and launches one of the most powerful skills in the game, right? If done correctly and you gain all 39 or more charges, the more charges you get, the higher your attack raise goes, the more powerful this thing becomes, right? So if you let them stand by for a turn or 2, they end up hitting very hard, even at 55%, right? We're talking like, throwing out anywhere between 24 and 48 million, depending on how many charges you get and your dupe level, right? We're talking about an insanely powerful skill. So I would say that they are good and worthy of summon, if not for that skill alone. On the other hand, we have the LRGT Duo, who are Power of Wishes, Battle of Fate, category key 3, HP attack defense 170%, plus an additional HP attack defense 30% for characters who also belong on Final Trump Card or Shadow Dragon Saga. These guys are the opposite of the Z Duo. They are greatly raising attack infinitely on their 18 key and raising attack infinitely on their 12 key. They basically do the same thing as the Z Duo, where they're getting extra key and extra supers, depending on whether or not they are getting their 18 or their 24 key. These guys have an additional tech where instead of building crit, they are building damage reduction up to 50% with each super attack performed. So after a couple of supers, they can end up tanking pretty well, especially in slot 1. Now, these guys, the standby mode does not charge like the other one, so you do want to take advantage a little bit of their additionals, but also of their crit, because their standby mode is a revive mechanic, right? So once transformed into Super Saiyan Vegeta here, if anybody in the rotation dies, you launch a counterattack, which is the Universal Spirit Bomb, and like the other one, is very, very powerful. So for this skill alone, is worthy of summon. Also consider that when in this standby mode before you die, you're also giving your allies 80% attack and key 8. You're also giving them another 40% if they manage to attack first without dying. So very, very, very powerful skill. Great support unit. You combine these guys with the likes of LR Bulma, and you are talking about an insanely powerful turn, especially if they end up getting to attack first, where they raise their allies' attack in conjunction with the 80% attack. So very, very good. So all in all, I would say for the units alone, that makes them a must summon, especially when you consider, we'll talk more about this and what lies ahead, but these guys aren't returning until December for us. So they are very powerful units, and I would say the units alone justify a summon. Now let's take a look at our second category, right? The banners. Do the banners warrant a summon? Are they good enough to carry out your summon? Because sometimes the unit's really good, but sometimes the banners are bad. So let's start with the Z Duo banner. The Z Duo banner is going to have the Z Duo and their banner unit, the Gotenks and Piccolo, who, I mean, they're fun to use. I like their animations, but they're not that great. But this is the first return on Global for the Gamma 1 and the LR Cooler, right? So if you are somebody who missed the Gamma 1 back in October, right, or you missed Cooler back in Worldwide last year, this will be your first chance to pick up either of these since last year. The banner will also return the Worldwide Celebration Full Power Frieza, last year's Anniversary LRs. This is their second return. The 6th Anniversary LRs, the 5th Anniversary LRs, the 2020 Worldwide unit with the STR Vegito here, and one half of the GT Duo. So all in all, not a bad banner, right? Full Power Freezer can still be useful. You know, he's still maybe a year or two out from an EZA, but if we ever get any Goku events where he can actually take time to build, he'll be solid once again, right? He's really good on Cooler and Ma Junior's team, provided he's given that time to do what he needs to do, you know? LR God's still very powerful, still one of the most powerful leader skills in the game. Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Movie Heroes, and Kamehameha are an extremely powerful leader skill. 6-year LRs, not as good as when they initially released. They got aged out pretty quick. But this guy, the STR Gogeta, he is getting an EZA at the end of the celebration, and if you didn't have him, I would almost say, like, along with the main LR, he is a must summon, right? STR Vegito and GT Vegeta, not the greatest in today's meta. They can still have some uses. This guy, probably more so than anybody else on the banner, is probably due for an EZA, but we shall see what happens during Worldwide this year. So that's the Z Duo banner. Let's look at the GT banner. GT banner is basically the opposites, right? We have the Gamma 2, their first return, the AGL Super Saiyans, the INT Super Saiyan Goku, the LR Super Saiyan 4s, the AGL UI Goku, Tech Vegito Blue, Bootanks, and the GT Goku. So Gamma 2 and the AGL Super Saiyans, again, like their counterparts, this is their first return, and if you're somebody who missed them, definitely should be going in to pick up a copy or two. We also have the Tech Vegito, who is getting his EZA, arguably the best LR EZA to date. Even at 55%, he still performs extremely well. So looking at the banners themselves, I think the banners are great. They are definitely worthy of a summon. Anything you pick up here is a rare Dokkan Fest LR, aside from the GT Duo. Someone that you're probably going to want dupes of, you know, right? You don't want to be skipping out on these. You could roll the dice, and I mean, the Gammas we know are returning for Tanabata. Cooler will be back in a month. That's just how Worldwide ends up working for us, unfortunately, with our anniversary being in July. But, I mean, you never know. I rolled the dice with Bootanks for 2 years now, and I still have not picked up that last copy. So, just throwing it out there that, you know, you could roll that dice, and it may not work in your favor. So, I would say that the banners themselves are good enough to justify the summon. They are still some of the best banners we've had year to date, only rivaled so far by the New Year's banner and the Golden Week banners, and on JP now the Tanabata banner is actually pretty good. So there is that to consider, but the banners themselves do justify a summon. So we've got one in the category for the units themselves and one in the category for the banners. Now, in order to consider how much you should spend, or whether or not you should spend stones on the banner, we need to look at what lies ahead. Obviously, we're going to have the Part 2 LRs, the Carnival Goku, where are they? They're way down here. The Carnival Goku and the Kid Gohan. If these are Carnival LRs you're interested in, there's definitely, you may want to consider that moving ahead, how much you're going to spend on this, on the Dokkan Fest banners, especially when you consider that their banner will return Metal Cooler and Birdku. Following them in August, we are more than likely getting this Dokkan Festival banner right here, the Kale banner. This will be the first return of Kid Goku. It'll also introduce Kale, who is really good by herself, and the return of Ginyu and the ROF Blue. So, I mean, it's not the worst banner in the world, but it's probably a big fat skip. Where most of you are going to be considering spending your stone next is this banner, these banners here. This is the Worldwide celebration from last year. If this year's Worldwide is anything like last year's, we're going to be like, if we would just take a look at the Dokkan Fest banner here real quick, right? If it's anything like this banner, right, you're going to expect to see a lot of the same faces from the anniversary, but with obviously some very, very powerful new additions, and who knows what these could be. We'll definitely have World Tournament Goku and Piccolo Jr. on the banner, because we can see the Golden Week units are here. It's possible they also return the New Year's units as well, so we could see Ultimate Gohan and Orange Piccolo on these banners as well, since Goku and Kid Buu were on it. So this is the next big banner you should be saving for. So if you're somebody who really, really wants to summon on Worldwide, that is something to consider when deciding on which banners here to summon for. Following them, the next Dokkan Festival we have is the Turles banner right here. That'll more than likely be the October banner. Not a bad banner. It does return Yamcha and Bardock. Yamcha is really good. Turles himself is really good. But this is one of those banners where, you know, in order to make Turles look really good, you at least need one of his banner units. These guys not so much, although they do work well on his team. You definitely need these guys. So just throwing that out there. But this will be the September, and then leading into that, more than likely in November, we'll be getting this banner right here, the Tanabata banner, which will return Pan, the Gammas, and it will have Vegeta and Trunks, and this new Super Saiyan Goku, who is amazing. He is definitely one of the top LRs, so something you need to consider. So as far as what lies ahead, I still would give it a must summon, right? There's a lot of good things coming, right? Especially with Worldwide and Tanabata coming up, within 6 months. It's definitely worthy of consideration, but I don't think it means you shouldn't summon here. This is one of the few banners where, right, I have a few banners where I give an absolute don't summon for. This is one of the few banners I give an absolute must summon for, and here's why. Not only because the units are good, not only because the banner is good, not only because you have time between now and what lies ahead, but because the anniversary itself is giving more than 1,000 stones. So I would definitely give my full recommendation on this banner. Go all in. Like I said in my summon strategy video, pick one banner, go as hard as you can on that banner. If it ends up not working out, hey, it doesn't work out, but then you can recover whatever stones you've used through the anniversary. And if you decide to summon again, sure, go for it. But otherwise, you might just call it and bank those stones for worldwide. That is up to you. Know that these banners will have discounts, right? So usually we get a 1-round discount of 110 stones. We also usually get 3+1s. Right? We also get 3+1s. So for every 3 multis, we get a free multi. We also get Dokkan Festival tickets for every summon that we do, right? So 9 tickets per rotation of multis. Per 3 multis, you get 9 tickets. So after your 4th summon on the next rotation, you'll have 10 tickets, which is enough to do a multi. There are a multitude of ways to get summons on this banner, and a lot cheaper than most other banners, right? Worldwide isn't going to have tickets. It might have 3+1s, but it ain't going to have tickets, right? So this is the best value for you, no matter what kind of player you are, pay to play or free to play. So I would give my full recommendation to these banners, right? These are a must summon. Don't miss out on these guys, because you could end up waiting till next July if you don't have the coins in December when they return on the Christmas banner. So anyways, guys, that is the video. That is whether or not you should summon on the upcoming Dokkan Festival banners for the 8th anniversary on Global Dokkan. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, what banner are you going for first, and what banner do you think I should go on first? I'm going to dip into both for content purposes, obviously. I'll probably run a poll, but just let me know here in the comments, which one would you like to see first? Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.